So, we just watched WrestleMania 33, and it's an end of a freaking era, and it sucks. It's only obvious that The Undertaker has just retired. At the end of his match, which he lost to Roman Reigns, unfortunately, he, sat up, put his jacket, his trademark jacket and hat back on, and he took his gloves off, and then I kind of thought it was a little weird that he put it back on just to take it off. He could have just...
Yeah, he could have just grabbed it and
But he's the Undertaker, so he can do what he wants.
Yeah.
He took his gloves off, set them down, took the jacket off, laid it down, and then took the symbolic hat and put it down. And it's, like I said, only obvious that he has retired, and it sucks, and it's something that we all kind of knew was coming.
Yep.
And at the same time, it's hard to prepare for stuff like that. We both been wrestling fans since we were kids, and The Undertaker is one of those characters that is iconic and legendary. Definitely, he's gonna be a Hall of Fame. Like I said, growing up as a wrestling fan, I think that was one of the things that gravitated us to each other, was both being big wrestling fans and Undertaker fans at that. This man went to the extreme with his, and
that's right.
Has the Undertaker tatted.
The man for life, baby.
And it's sad. It sucks. But at the same time, it is what it is. He is one of my top 5 wrestlers, top 3, I would say. I mean, like I said, there's The Rock, Kurt Angle, Undertaker, and it'd be hard to put that in order exactly. Yeah. Probably not as hard for you, but but Undertaker was the man. He originally came out in I forget the exact year.
91.
I would say 91, 90 or 91.
91, yeah.
But it was Survivor Series. He was part of $1 Million Man's team. But one thing that was just awesome about The Undertaker was the feeling when he came out. If you never got to experience The Undertaker walking down in the ring live, there is nothing like it. The lights going out, the bell going off, the music hitting, that eerie, the eerie sounds of the music, the purple hues that comes over. You can see it on TV and say, that looks awesome. But being there is a totally different experience. And it's something that's etched into my brain from the first time I got to see it.
And it's, people, there's, a lot of people think, well, it's wrestling, it's fake, these are just, regular guys. When you grow up watching these characters as children, Undertaker, to me, growing up, was like what Cena is to kids today. You see him as a superhero, like, a very creepy superhero, but a superhero nonetheless. And that's how I see Undertaker. He's a character that I grew up with as a child, and a big reason, the reason I became a wrestling fan. Him and Shawn Michaels. And, today is, it sucks, but good things must come to an end. Yeah. And as much as I hate it, not, all good things, they come to an end. And Undertaker has come to an end. And it's been 20 plus years of watching this guy, and you become invested in these characters when you love something so much, like I love wrestling.
Like we said, we know it's scripted, and we know it's not, it's reality based. Like Vince always said, sports entertainment.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like I said, when you're a little kid growing up, you don't realize it's scripted. You don't realize that it's planned out. And when you get older, you find that out. But if you still have the passion for it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You still throw yourself into the character. You still throw yourself into the show. And you can say it's like a big soap opera for us. But whatever. It is what it is. You grow up watching these guys, and they're, like you said, heroes. You know what I'm saying? Go back to when he was in WCW as Mean Mark, and he was called up, wasn't even told face to face, hey, we're letting you go, you're never going to make it in this business,
Yeah,
quit. and Vince saw something in him, brought him in, gave him this character, and especially coming out with Paul Bearer is what made it.
Yeah.
You know, oh, my Undertaker, coming out with the urn, that eeriness, the creepiness, and he didn't talk for the longest time.
Yeah, he was like, since like he was there. He didn't talk for, I don't know, a couple of years actually. I don't think.
Or if he did, it would just be wrestling.
Like a little, yeah, he would be doing, you know, building his caskets for for his opponents. But yeah, you can't get a better. I don't think you could get a better character that was more put together. That was more, the right pieces just came together for that character.
Pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, you know, Paul Bearer, Vince McMahon having this idea, and then getting the right guy for that idea.
And you know, just like same thing with we were talking earlier about the ministry, how that was just, that whole gimmick was just awesome. That, you know, him kidnapping wrestlers and then turning them dark, and then you got characters like Minion and Viscera and the Acolytes of Destruction. You know, I mean, and he grew this whole big thing. I mean, at some points he's like, he truly is evil. You know?
You really thought it, like you felt it, like
he hung the big boss man.
Yeah. You can't, like, there's a lot of wrestlers, like, they have their characters, but you don't really feel like, okay, well, you can feel it's kind of, But Undertaker, like, man, you felt that character, like, you believed Undertaker's Undertaker.
Yeah, you believe that he can just rise up
turn lights on, and
yeah, he's the one that's really controlling the lights. And, you know, and like it's like some people have to evolve their characters or change their characters, whereas the Undertaker can stay the Undertaker. He did have change for a while. We did that whole biker American Badass thing, but in all honesty, he didn't have to. He chose to, you know, and
it worked.
It worked, you know. It gave him a little different, different flavor, you know, like, and you know, different moves, and I don't know. We're flustered right now. It's hard to talk.
Yeah, it sucks.
You know, one of your childhood heroes, you've been watching, like you said, 20 plus years, is now gone. Like, who knows? He'll probably have a return match, maybe, or something.
Yeah,
you never know. You never
Survivor
know.
Series team or something as a surprise.
Yeah.
Teammate or something. I don't know.
Or you know, that's be the weird one when you're watching the Royal Rumble with like your kids or something like that, and you know,
Undertaker
an old wrestler, Undertaker, and I can already see us right now. Oh, the Undertaker!
Oh, I will. Let me tell you, I don't care how old I am. I'll bark out every time if I see it.
Our kids be like, who?
Like
what?
Like, if you're a kid, like, seriously, you kids growing up today, like, you got your characters, you got your Cenas and all that, but man, and you know how you feel about them, like, you know, but for Undertaker, like, growing up with these guys, like, especially Undertaker, if you're going into wrestling starting as a wrestling fan, you need to look at Undertaker. You got your WWE Network, you can find this stuff, and you can relive it. Yeah, do your history on this guy if you're trying to get into wrestling, or if you're becoming a wrestling fan. Just to become a wrestling fan, man,
you know, it's bittersweet, and you know, he got to go out the way he wanted to go out. Whereas, like, you know, luckily he was never taken from us, like, say, Edge or Daniel Bryan, and characters like that still had so much to give us, but because of injury, had to retire. Undertaker, you know, there might have been times where he took a lot of time off and then came back for a certain part of the year.
Part-time WrestleMania stuff, but
I mean, you look at it like, man, Undertaker, we really want you here more, but then at the same time, it's like you just took what you could get from the guy, and it sucks. I mean, he has some awesome matches, awesome opponents. Excuse me. And, Mankind, Hell in a Cell, like we were talking about, awesome.
Yeah. Most brutal match probably in WWE ever.
His fighting with Yokozuna, and you know, he had that legendary one with Hogan when he first showed up. You know what I mean? It was
him and Shawn Michaels WrestleMania the first time around, when they had that, you know, where he was coming up from the ground, or Shawn was coming up from the top, and man, those two, that WrestleMania match, even at that age, for both of them, I mean, was freaking. That's probably one of the top matches ever.
Yeah.
and for them to do, and it just shows how good Undertaker has been for all these years. I mean, even at that age, he was still putting on great matches. I mean, his past couple matches were, but I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, he still went out there and he still tried to perform the best he could, and that's all you can ask. This guy sacrificed years on his body, and I mean, I think he has hip surgery after this, and then, you know, family time. You know, he did all that for wrestling fans. Like, wrestling fans don't understand. Like, these guys are on the road a lot. You know, you would be a little more appreciative of these guys because what they're doing, they don't have to. They love to do it, and they love to do it, and they're doing it for us. So, you know, Undertaker, 20 plus years, that's amazing. It's a greatest, you know, he's one of the all-time greats for me. The greatest.
Legend
for sure.
And like we were saying before, like, yes, we know like things are scripted and stuff like that, but you know what? It doesn't matter to us. I mean, Undertaker was a 6'9", 300-something pound man who walked the tightrope, and I mean, he did all this athletic stuff. I mean, he did some crazy shit for a big man.
Yeah.
I mean,
you guys watch movies. I mean, movies are fake too, but you get kind of invested in characters like these series that people watch, like Harry Potter's and, you know, all these series. I mean, and that, you know, it's fake, but you love it, and that's the way it is for wrestling fans. Like,
yeah,
we love it. We know it's fake, but you get invested in these characters, and
and a character as great as the Undertaker. I mean, like we were saying, we don't know if it would have worked with anybody else. You know,
no.
He made that character work, and I just gotta say thank you, Undertaker, for all the years of entertainment, all the years of awesomeness that you gave us, and there's not gonna be another one like you, and I'm happy that I got to experience you live.
Yep.
And I'm happy that I was a part of the legacy, or we were a part of the legacy of the Undertaker, as in wearing merchandise, going to shows and seeing him.
Seeing his entire career.
Yeah, seeing his entire career from start to finish. You know, some people come out there and wrestle for 5 years, and that's all they got. He's been in there for over 20-something years, and
I mean, shoot, he could have ended up being a basketball player like when he was. I think it was in high school or college he was playing basketball. But it chose wrestling and gave us, you know, years of enjoyment and just awesomeness, man. No, it sucks.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, we have nothing but respect.
Yep.
Thank you, Undertaker, very much. I think it's only respectful to give him the rest in peace.